Hello everyone and welcome to For the Craft. In this video you will see how I made a diorama showing a truck being destroyed by a mine. For this project I used the Diamond 968 truck from IBG models in a scale of 1 to 72. After varnishing the model pieces, I started the assembly process. Then I painted the various parts with my airbrush. Because I wanted the truck's windows to look broken by the explosion, I started creating breaks and cracks in the windows with my cutter. I also created damages and bends in the truck doors. I also used the cutter to make cuts in the engine hood so I could make it look like it had been opened by the explosion. Then I glued the pieces together and started the weathering process by using oil paints and powders. I wanted the truck bed to look like it was broken by the explosion, so I replaced the plastic panels with wooden panels. With the heat from a candle, I bent the side parts of the bed and added details from wood. Then I varnished, painted and assembled the various pieces and the truck's body was ready. For the base of the ground, I used a piece of XPS foam, and after I gave it the appropriate shape, I covered it with this acrylic material. With the help of a toothbrush, I created the texture of the soil, and with a small spatula, I made the tracks from the wheels. I also glued some stones, and then with oil paints, I made the appropriate color and shading of the ground. Now I want the truck as it moves forward to explode somewhere at this point, and the explosion to lift it up like this. So I'll make the explosion somewhere here. To illuminate the explosion, I will use this small LED light which is powered by 2 watch batteries. First, I created a hole in the ground to pass the electrical wires under the base. And I used this wire to give the basic shape of the explosion. To create the smoke and dust from the explosion, I used cotton which I glued with my heat gun. And painted the cotton red, orange and light brown with my airbrush. I 3D printed some US soldiers at the appropriate scale. For this project, I used the Elegoo Jupiter SE resin printer. You can check the Elegoo products by following the link in the video description. Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, the Jupiter SE offers premium features at a reasonable price. So you can check this printer and other Elegoo products by following the link in the video description. Of course, I had to give the soldiers the proper posture, so I had to cut off their arms and legs. And reattach them in such a way that they had the correct posture for my diorama scene. To hide the joints, I used epoxy clay which I sanded and then proceeded to paint the figures. When the figures were ready, I placed them in their positions using super glue. Then I glued the truck onto the explosion using PVA glue. And also glued around the explosion various details such as wheels and parts of the truck and its engine. To create the water in the puddle on the ground, I colored some UV resin which I cured with UV light. And then I used this acrylic water texture material to create the ripples of the water created by the explosion. I also used small pieces of foam to create the pieces of soil that were blown up by the mine explosion. The final detail I added to my diorama was to glue small pieces of glass onto the faces and bodies of the soldiers who were thrown out of the truck due to the explosion. And so my diorama was finished. So this is the diorama that shows a military truck being destroyed by the explosion of an underground mine. I hope you liked the final result and you enjoyed watching the construction process. I would love for you to write to me in the comment section what you liked, what you didn't like, or what you think I could have made better. As I have mentioned in the community tab, due to a health problem, for the time being I cannot make videos as often as I used to. But I will continue to make dioramas and videos, so stay in touch. Thank you very much for watching. I wish you all a very good day, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye.